It's been a comedy hour here, but thank you so much. Welcome to our live segment for our 2021 Back in His Arms Again benefit. We have certainly been learning a lot, not only about how to serve over 100 families a month, but how to run technology better.
Live stream on YouTube.
Right.
Not what
I think we should stick to our day
trained for.
job. Yeah, stick to
for
our day
real.
job. So if anyone's out there, let us know. We're going to kind of wait a few moments to begin our discussion with you once we know if people are here. Again, if we ever thought 16 years ago that part of our job in serving families would be being on camera, talking live, we were just discussing before that we would rather be at our benefit with all of you all there. Speaking in front of 300 people seems a lot easier than this
It
to
does.
us.
It does. And there's no cameras, there's no websites and
Right,
links.
right.
Yeah.
So this is very new for us. Yes.
We are a humble ministry, if nothing.
If nothing else, right, right. We'd like to save all of our resources for our families that we serve, not for things like this. So it's been a little bit of a struggle to pull this off, but we're very happy to be here. We're happy to see you here. Can we see anybody on there yet?
Yep, we have 7 people.
Hey,
Seven
7 people.
people.
All right.
Are they all alone?
Doesn't look like it.
Hey, that's good. All right. Well, we are so glad that you joined us. Please let us know you're here by commenting. We'll welcome any questions that you have. We're just going to give a brief overview right now. And we'd really, really like to start off by thanking Melissa, who just gave her family testimony. If you were unable to see it, we did have some unforeseen technical difficulties in starting late tonight and also just getting our equipment to work, which it worked fine yesterday. So that's always fun for us. But anyway, we're here. If you missed our first segment that was recorded, it's going to be
It's down below too on the website.
right, and it's going to be up for about a week. So we would encourage you to go listen to it, especially Melissa. So I'll let Amy talk about that.
Yeah, Melissa, she's just a beautiful mom, and you meet these women occasionally and you feel like that they are meant to share. She's always had such a beautiful way of sharing Jackson's story in a way that just shows how much she loved him. And we are so appreciative that she shared so much, his little picture and the Molly Bear. Molly Bears is an organization where you send them the baby's exact length and weight, and they make a bear to match. I believe that you do pay for it now, and there is always a waiting list, but I will tell you the waiting list opens the last day of each month. And so you can Google Molly Bears. They're also linked on our resources page. They are very treasured by the people who have their Molly Bears. So I love mine.
Right, and it's really difficult for parents to open their hearts and share even just with 1 or 2 people. So we're really thankful, Melissa, that you shared with our whole Back in His Arms Again community and our donors and our supporters. I watched it last night when it was sent to me and I was crying. So it really touched my heart, and we always love when we get to hear from you. One of the other things that I personally really wanted to do, I also did in my recorded video, was to thank our board of directors. We have an incredible board of directors that each contribute in such a special way. We'd like to thank our supporters, our volunteers, our special Newborns in Need chapter in Newark, who's provide all of our layettes and prayer shawls and memory envelopes and just beautiful things that we get to provide to our families. In addition to that, we'd like to thank the Catholic Foundations, the Catholic Cemeteries of Columbus, Avena Women's Health, Father Homer Bluebaugh. Thank you, Father Blue, for coming alongside us from the very beginning and scooping us up and taking care of us and our families, all of our spiritual needs. Great pastoral director. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. He has just been incredible to us. And also to all the other area ministries that we've partnered with in Central Ohio that have helped us serve our families. Incredibly grateful for that. So Amy is going to kind of walk you through our process of how we help a family. What do we do? How does it work, Amy?
Yeah, so when we get a call, Either Kimber or myself will speak. Sometimes it's a family member, sometimes it's a nurse, a chaplain, a priest, a funeral director, a grandparent, whoever. It could be anyone. We'll call them back. We'll kind of get their story, how far along or how old baby was, if there are any, circumstances. And we want to right away after, obviously the first thing is acknowledging their loss. And just giving them that support. And then as we move on towards what their needs are, we want to ask, questions to outline what their top needs are, what their top concerns are for burial, so that we can assess how we can best help them. And then once we kind of have an idea on that, we go through the steps of, okay, well, maybe you need a funeral home. If your baby is less than 20 weeks, you don't necessarily have to, but funeral home, cemetery, what arrangements do you want? And sometimes people know exactly what they want and exactly where to go. Sometimes they don't. I mean,
Right.
because you don't always put thought into.
Well, you've never really had to do this
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Most families that lose a child are young. They've never been in charge of anyone's burial,
Right.
let alone their own child.
Right, and it's different for a baby.
Right.
Yeah. So just to be able to guide them through, and a lot of times I'll say, these are the steps you need to do now. And by now, I mean in the next day or so. Sometimes people feel like, oh, I've got to know right now. It's really fine to wait a couple days. Make sure you're getting what you want to do. And then the rest is details and, kind of all the things. Sometimes too, we get people who know in advance they're going to lose their baby. Maybe they're still pregnant and know that it's coming. And so in that case, we get the chance to also give them ideas of, photographs you might want, little memories you can make while you're there, ideas of bonding that they might haven't heard of, or
Right.
so we try our best to prepare people for whatever's coming. And then I always end every phone call with, please call me if you hit any bumps, any snags, something doesn't make sense,
Right.
because we've kind of seen it all
We have.
by now.
And we want
Yeah.
people to be able to have the moments that they were able to have with their babies.
Yes.
And having a little bit of information before really helps. One of the things that we've really noticed during COVID is something that really needs to be addressed across the board. And that isn't just the physical health, but the mental health of our moms and dads and our
Yes.
families.
Yes. I mean, you'll see articles about it. Probably not if you're not a part of this club, but if you've lost a baby and you follow all these various groups and pages, about the PTSD involved in infant loss, because it's not just a grief process. A lot of times you've also been through something physically traumatic as well as emotionally traumatic, and you have that layer of grief. And us as a society, we don't like to talk about it because it's really sad. It makes people uncomfortable to talk about your baby dying. And so people don't talk about it, which makes their mental health,
Right.
even worse. And that trauma just keeps going.
And that's something that we feel is really unique to our ministry. And we were talking about this with our board of directors, in that there's really no other ministry around. We have people calling us from all over the United States, not so much for financial assistance, but for guidance and support and what should we do and what's the next step. And that, there are lots of things for other areas of pregnancy, but not for the loss. And if you think about it, 1 out of every 4 pregnancies, I believe, ends in miscarriage.
Yeah.
And that was kind of how we started, and we still serve that community. However, unfortunately in our area, we're one of the highest infant mortality rates and now maternal mortality rates in the United States. And it's an issue that really needs attention. So we've seen more at-term babies, or even after birth, than we've ever seen before.
A lot of premature babies too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And some of that's word of mouth. Like you get a reputation at Children's and Mount Carmel, and that's great. That's what we want to happen. But that does also increase our costs, and we want to be able to help as many people as we can.
Right, which brings us to, we've never ever in 16 years had to turn a family away. We're very, very proud of that. We've always been able to really carefully identify the needs of each family and help them exactly how they need. Nothing more, nothing less, so that we can help everybody. But we're really hoping that through this fundraiser benefit tonight, that we'll be able to continue our work. It's been a very, very rough year for everybody with COVID, but I think especially for nonprofits.
Yes. I mean, donations are way down across the board for everyone, which, I mean, makes sense. We couldn't expect otherwise, really, because so many people unemployed, taking wage cuts.
Right.
It's just, and like we've never seen, nobody's ever seen a year like that. So
Right. And unfortunately, it's a domino effect when people are under stress, and it affects pregnancies and outcomes. So we have been busier than we've ever been.
Yeah, we've had a good variety of calls too.
We have.
I feel like some years we do runs of miscarriages, we do runs of stillbirths. This year has been, you don't know what you're getting when the phone rings.
Right.
Yeah.
Just this morning, we had a call from Children's Hospital from a family that had lost their baby a few days ago. Mom is, really struggling, and we really want to be able to help that mother. So right now, we're in the process of identifying her needs and how we can help her give her child a dignified burial.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, we're open for questions at this point. Any comments? Anybody have anything they'd like to add? We'll be waiting, listening to our audience.
No questions yet.
No
That's a good
questions
thing.
yet.
That means
Not yet.
we covered a lot.
Right. So if you would like to donate, you can click on the link on our webpage. There's a donate tab, or you can mail to Back in His Arms Again, P.O. Box 1553, Westerville, Ohio 43086. We would be very grateful.
Very grateful. Yes. Last year was rough. I know about, I can't remember, maybe it was March or April. We had put a call out to our donors, our supports for help, because we were getting very close to having to turn people away. We just had an insane start to 2020, and they came through for us in a big way, and that really got us through 2020. And so we're kind of asking the same here. We know everyone's situation is different this year, but our ministry will need your help again, so that these families are not going without. And because we have had, I can think of probably a handful of occasions where we haven't been called until I've had probably for 4 to 8 weeks post loss, because they didn't know about us. I know we talked about that last year as well. We don't want that to happen.
Right.
And that is the end result of what happens if either people don't know about us or we aren't able to help them. Sometimes that means baby goes unburied until something is worked out, or it means that they're pressured into a decision for final arrangements that is not what they wanted. So we want to make sure that that does not happen to our families.
Right. And also, I just want to respond to Dr. Kathleen Letter wants to know how to redirect a donation. So again, because of the technical difficulties we're having tonight, once this ends, you just need to go to our page at backinhisarmsagain.com, click on the donate tab. You can donate directly through that. If you prefer to mail a check, it goes to Back in His Arms Again, P.O. Box 1553, Westerville, Ohio 43086.
And if you have a donor advised fund and you'd like to transfer from your fund to ours, or we've even had someone wanted to transfer stocks, which is still something I'm not quite sure I understand, but I don't have to. You can either contact us or you can contact the Catholic Foundation, and they will walk you through all the steps. And if you contact me, well, I'm going to call the Catholic Foundation for you, because I certainly don't know how to donate stocks, but we'll get you the answer. So, yeah.
Right. We'd be very grateful for any donations at all. Are there any other questions that we can see? You should be able to comment on the live thread. Oh, there was a question about burial costs. So in Central Ohio, to bury a full-term infant, Everything included, the vault is around $300. That includes the vault, the internment, and the burial plot. So
And that's an absolute minimum.
right. That's an amazing. We also have something in Central Ohio called the Garden of the Holy Innocents. That's for any child under 20 weeks. And that is a complimentary, I guess, service at the Catholic cemeteries.
Yeah.
Any baby can be buried there at no charge,
Yeah.
which is a really beautiful thing.
And then for older babies, larger babies, caskets, we can get a casket for around the $300 to $400 region. Sorry.
It's been a long day.
$300 to $400 and up. Cemetery plots vary across town. So when we say you can get a plot for $300, that's it. That's our Catholic cemeteries right there.
Right.
And
You do not have to be Catholic to bury.
no,
They- yes.
any baby, yes.
And the
And
others, yeah,
if you go elsewhere, you're looking at, $600 to $800 for a plot sometimes.
easily, right.
Yeah. And other funeral homes costs are different. So
The other thing I'd like to mention for anyone who's watching that's kind of new to us, yes, we are based on Catholic morality. We serve all faiths, all denominations. We are an ecumenical ministry, so
we don't ask that question.
we don't ask that question. No. We're just here to serve all families. We want to build our community, make it stronger,
Mhm.
and help our families.
Yeah, because infant loss doesn't discriminate.
Right.
Miscarriage doesn't discriminate.
Does
so
not.
it's going to affect everyone at every level of society.
Right.
And even if you're a man or you're older,
Especially the
Still,
fathers.
you're
The
still going to
fathers,
be,
yeah.
you'll know someone at some point in your life who has lost their child.
Right. Our fathers are definitely forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
Can you donate monthly automatic?
Yes.
You
payments?
can set up monthly automatic payments. You can go to our website, you click donate. If you do an online donation, you have that option to set up a recurring donation. And it takes you through step by step. It's very easy on the website.
Any other questions that you can see?
You answered one of them, do you work with other religions? You already answered that.
We have stagehands helping us with the questions.
This is thank you to Kristen Woodman, who is our technical advisor behind the scenes here. She's reading our questions real quick before we wrap up.
There's no other questions, there's a couple thank yous
Okay.
in there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for
sticking with our.
sticking with our technical
Yeah,
difficulties.
I don't ever want to do this again. I want to see people.
Right. This is a little bit weird, just like the whole year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, Ginger, I can hear you nodding about
Yes.
wanting your interest.
We would like to be in live next year.
Yeah.
Yes. We have another question.
Any way to honor your baby?
Yes, you
Lots
can.
of ways to honor
Yes.
the baby.
There is a memo spot when you do an online donation. Many people do write in honor of, and if you would like that shared, you could say that. Feel free to share this on Facebook, and we can say, such and such made a donation in honor of baby, and we're happy to share that. We don't automatically assume to publicly share, but we do.
If you would like to, we would
Yeah,
like
we
to.
do make a note
Mhm.
when they're in memory of, because it's nice
Right.
to see
It's very nice to
someone's
see.
baby being remembered.
There are also things that you can do in Central Ohio. For instance, at the Garden of the Holy Innocents, you can have a paper made with your
Mhm.
baby's name.
Mhm.
You can also register at the National Shrine,
Yes.
your baby's name. Any other questions, Kristen?
Nothing I can see. Oh, how can I help if I'm not in a position to donate? You just got that up.
Okay,
Sure.
how can you help if you're not in a position to donate? Word of mouth,
Yeah.
share our ministry. We are a ministry that people need to know before things happen. We always need help. If it's not stuffing envelopes, it's helping us collect items or deliver items, or well, we always have a project going. We can always use your help.
Yeah.
So if you're not in a position to
Yes.
donate,
We're
for
always-
instance, Kristen, I met Kristen at work, and she was like, I want to do something. I want to get involved. How can I help? And I was like, well, so here she is. So there are lots and lots of things. We'd love to have your help.
Even as simple as follow us on Facebook and reshare, because every time someone shares our status, it spreads it to more people. So even as simple as a click, you're helping us get visibility, and just knowing who we are, you're going to have a friend or family member in
Right.
need.
There is not one person I know, if I walk into a room of strangers and ask, has anybody in this room known anyone or themselves lost a baby? Hands go up. It is across the board.
And you'll probably be shocked.
You
at the
will be
hands that
shocked to go up,
Because you
right.
won't, people don't always share that.
It's just something that women don't talk about, couples don't talk about, we don't talk about in society. And not that we're, trying to make this something like that. We want to protect everyone's privacy, but we also want to walk alongside them
Yes.
and help them out so that they're not going through a situation that we went through.
Was it John Legend and his wife lost their baby earlier, the end of last year, the beginning of this year? And it, at first, me and the people in my circle thought it was great that they shared that publicly, that they shared photos of them holding the baby. But then come the other people who are saying, I can't believe you're sharing that. It's so inappropriate. And that's what has to change. That's a big part of the mental health stigma that they deal with, is that, you're afraid to share your baby because people get upset with you for making
Right.
them feel uncomfortable.
And something that we've learned dealing with families, most parents name their child, and when you're speaking to them, just using that baby's name, when you're helping them make arrangements, just means the world to them. And we know that, so we do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's acknowledging their existence, that they truly were a person, they are a person.
They're still
What
a
is-
part of your life.
Dr. Seuss says, a person's a person, no matter how small.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anything else popping up there?
Quarterly remembrance.
Oh, yes, we also do have quarterly masses.
Next one is April 24th at 1 p.m.
They're in the Resurrection Cemetery Chapel in Loomis Center.
Mm-hmm.
All are welcome. Doesn't matter your faith, just come on in.
Yep, it's going to be July 24th and October 23rd, I believe.
Wow.
Well, it's easy because the dates are similar. They are posted on our website on events, and if you follow our Facebook, we will post about it beforehand, or
Oh, I have another question.
or if there's a change to it, we will let you know there as well.
So I have another question that came across my text from Suzanne. Do you cover families outside of the Central Ohio area?
Oh, yes.
Yes. And I have another question of that, but to address Suzanne, yes. We do. However, most of our families, to be honest with you, outside of Central Ohio that call us are really looking for what are the steps.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what to do. When we go to the hospital and have our baby and the baby's there, and what happens next. That all depends on so many factors of which we can help them with.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're going through that, as Amy explained, after we're figuring out, okay, how old is this baby? What is the proper protocol for it according to our state laws?
Mm-hmm.
Then we have further conversations, and that's kind of when we find out if a family's in financial need or not. So, there is that section of financial need that we address, but we also, there's a huge part of, again, coming alongside someone. We know what to do. We know what their options are, and just explaining it to them in a kind, gentle way, so that they're prepared for when they do go to a funeral home, or when they are making arrangements at the cemetery.
We're going to know what questions to ask to get the information they're looking for.
Right.
It's not something you can easily Google.
Yeah. It's so hard to think when you're grieving.
Oh, yeah.
I know I couldn't think straight.
No.
I was just, oh. Okay, so one other question. Can you have a service at the Catholic Cemetery at the Garden of the Holy Innocents if you want outside or in the cemetery hall? So basically, I think what's being asked is, can you have a remembrance there? The answer is yes. And we just take that family by family. If you bury a baby in the garden, we have a lot of families that go and just have a little small prayer service. We have a lot of families that bury in the guardian angel section, which is different. Those are for more full-term babies. And those families oftentimes like to have a prayer service or a mass or whatever their faith is in the chapel there. So yes, you can.
I believe, though, that at the garden, you cannot be present when your baby is placed
Right.
in the garden.
But you
if you are in the private plots in the guardian angel section, you may have a graveside service there. It's just
right.
the mechanics of the way the garden works.
Right.
But you can still have a prayer service.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I think really the whole premises behind Back in His Arms Again is honoring the wishes of parents. So whatever that might be, each parent, each family is going to be different.
Mhm.
Each family will have different faith traditions. Each family will have different wishes. And we're really really trying to meet each family right where they are. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Right where they are. And what do they need? And how can we help them the most?
Yeah.
One of the things I love the most about helping people who might be of a different faith is they will always ask us, are you sure you're Catholic? Because, and I love that because that's how we want to share our
Yes.
faith is just in the kindness and goodness to everyone.
Yeah.
It's not what faith you are, how you practice your faith. It is how we honor life.
Yeah. I know someone was told by a family member, well, they won't help you because you're not Catholic. And absolutely, anybody,
Right.
we're not going to turn you away because of who you are, or it doesn't matter. We don't even ask. So.
Right. We don't. That is not a question. That is not a question we ask a family, what faith are you?
Mhm.
We normally just kind of navigate the waters,
Yes.
figure out, again, we've become experts at identifying needs and acting upon that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
any other
Just gotta have the right
questions?
No
No?
questions are popping up here.
Any more?
Can Back in His Arms Again come to my church or group to educate us?
Heck yes.
We would love to. We would
One of my
love
favorite
yes. We'd love to go. We go out speaking. Well, it was all the time
Yeah,
until
don't
COVID.
anymore.
I'm actually going to Pregnancy Decision Help Center in the next couple of weeks to have a meeting with them and to share with them. So we love sharing.
Mhm.
We would love to come to your church or your community group.
But if you're gonna live stream us,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to set that up.
yeah, if you want to live stream, we're out.
Yep, so-
But we can Zoom. We Zoom
Yeah,
really
we do
well.
know how to Zoom,
We
yes.
do know how to Zoom really
Yeah.
well.
We've got a presentation
Right.
down, and whatever you want us to talk about, we're happy
Yeah.
to do.
We'll curtail it to your needs,
Yeah.
right? We
Yeah.
would love to. Yeah.
My favorite was to the seminarians.
Yeah, that was a really great
Yeah.
talk. Yeah. We
Yeah.
had a good time.
How can we get materials?
How can you get materials? All you need to do is email us at backinhisarmsagain@gmail.com, and we'll be glad to get materials right into your hands. We have really nice pamphlets. We also have business cards, and our website is a great source of information. So we would love to share that with you, or anyone that you know that would like that. We would love to send it out to you.
Mhm.
Anything else?
Anything else? No more questions. I'm actually surprised we got a lot of questions.
We did.
Yeah.
It was.
Thank you.
Once we got going, it was great.
All
But
right.
anyway, well, thank you all so much for joining us this evening. Again, if you'd like to donate, just click on the button on our website. If you'd like to mail it to us, P.O. Box 1553, Westerville, Ohio 43086. We would love to know if you would allow us to share a public thank you to you on our website and on our social media. And again, we're so grateful. Thank you. God bless you and have a
Thank
great
you.
night.